by the way, you see, I downloaded all the essay, right? AC1, AC2, AC3, and so on. And
Yeah,
again,
yeah, I noticed.
the
Yes,
main,
I noticed
yes,
that. Yes, I
yes,
noticed that you
yes,
haven't written any names. I understand.
and no
No, no, it's
names, yes,
fine.
no names. And even when you
Yes,
send
I
it, don't
understand.
write your names. And again, as I told you, the point here not evaluating you at or just the main point of this like one is like of this course like is trying to highlight the mistakes to avoid in the real exam. You got it? And even not for any exam, like for any writing you'd like to write, just pay attention to such points. You got it? But like I really respect everyone who wrote without using any helping tools. Like I really, really highly appreciate those who wrote like, you know, their own like writing without any kind of help. I really respect that. Because I have the students who like they think that I'm so naive, they think that I don't know. So here we have this one. So here we have, for example, I wrote it. Like we can write, for example, here whether sport professional is it. We can ask a question. Do you think you can ask start like, do you think that? But again, as I told you, you don't need to impress them with a hook. You need just to impress them with your linguistic ability and your organization of ideas. So, for example, you can write here like it's a general sentence about the topic. A general sentence. I'm not speaking about the importance of sports. No, I'm speaking about sport professionals and the amount of money they make. This is the topic that we'd like to discuss. You got it? So if you write like, yeah, why sports is very important, so on, it is not like the main idea. And then here I wrote like some people believe sports like professionals like do not deserve all this much money, whereas others say that they should have it. I know that most of you agree that it is not fair. I know. I picked this one because it's different. I had this idea because it's different, because your examiners doesn't expect that. So usually speaking, examiners are, some of them are impressed by like unique ideas. I'm not saying weird ideas. I'm speaking about like ideas which are not common. You see? So here I sided with the opinion that, yeah, they deserve it. And I know that most of you don't agree with me, but I told you, like sometimes to be different than others is good for you sometimes. So here, like here, I just wrote like that some people believe like they deserve it, others like don't agree. From my point of view, I think this is my opinion. You know, I put it at the end. So like at the end, the last sentence of the introduction, I think that they deserve this amount of money. You understand that? They're heroes. I even wrote that they're heroes, like who have to get, like, you know, not have to get, like who can, like who should, you know, who should, not have to, like who should get such a huge amount of money. This is my opinion. So here, when he read it, he knows my opinion. So the first thing he do, like one, an introduction, body one, body two, and conclusion. It's clear, right? So make sure when you write to do that. Make sure that when you write, like don't write without thinking about paragraphing, because as I told you, it ruins like your mark if you'd like to have a high one. Okay? So this is the introduction. And then body one, how can write body one? Simply, like body one, you need 3 sentences only. You can write from 3 to 4 sentences. You can write from 3 to 4 sentences. Body one, like you don't have to be generalized or no, it is not the same as the introduction. Body one, like just a rectangle or a square. You write a topic sentence, and the problem is most of you forget about the topic sentence. You start immediately with the reason. Topic sentence, and then you have like 2 reasons. Why 2 reasons only? Because if you add more than 2 reasons, it will you in order to convince me, you're supposed to like to have like more reasons. So if you write here 3 reasons, so in body three, you're supposed to add 4 reasons, or 4 reasons in 3 reasons in body two, and then in the introduction conclusion, you have to have an extra reason. So it's better here to add only 2 reasons to make it easier for you to convince your reader. Okay, so the topic sentence, like it includes the main idea. The topic sentence includes the main idea. One of the problem here, like I shouldn't say, no, it's totally unfair for a sports professional to have that amount of money because so and so. There is no topic sentence. You already started to that. And one thing here, this body one should be for the opinion that you don't like. The opinion that you don't like. So which means like try to make it a problem, problematize the other opinion. This is one of the technique. Make the other opinion look like a problem. Like what? Like say if I said, for example, I'll give you 3 sentences and you tell me which one you think is more convincing. If I said, I think, from your point of view, I think he's right. He's right. And this one, he's right. And like he claims he's right. Like, yeah. So now we have, let's give them numbers, assign each one with numbers. So here we have sentence number one, sentence number two, and sentence number three. Which one from your point of view is more convincing, and which one is the most convincing, and which one is the least convincing? Yes, three is what? The most convincing or the least convincing one? So okay, let's have an opinion. Which one? More convenient? Three. Not convenience. I meant convincing. Convincing. Persuasive. Persuasive. You know, convincing, مقنع. Which one, when you read, you say, yes, yes, he's right. Which one? Which one convinces you that he's right? Most three, like list 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm telling you, if I said here, okay, the most convincing one, the most convincing sentence that, like, you know, this is the second one. Why? Why the second one? The second one, not the first. Yes, yes, very good, very good. Ahmed Alauddin, very good, Ahmed. Yes, assuring. Yeah, confident, not confident, convincing, not confident. You see? So the second one, if I said, I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. If I said, I think the right answer is B, do you think I'm convincing you? If I said, I think the right answer is B, again, I give the idea, this is my opinion. It is not a fact. But if I told you, you know, the right answer is B, I state my opinion as a fact. So this one is the most convincing one, followed by this one. You know, followed by this one. Like in the second one, I'm stating, yes, excellent. Yes, very good, Ahmed. You have this one. The third one, he claims he's right. This one, no. If I said she claims, claims not, it means like he said so. It is said. يقال. يزعم. هو يزعم إنه على حق. هو يزعم إنه على حق. So it means what? I'm not even convinced. Like I'm trying to convince you that he's right. He's not right. You got it? If I said he claims he's right, so it means what? It means like it's just a claim. It is not a piece of, it is not a fact. It's just a claim. You got it? You understand that? So here, so that's why I don't appreciate when you write, I don't appreciate writing the word I think, but because like in IELTS they ask you to write your opinion, you can write I think or I believe, okay? And the opinion that you don't like, you can start with the word claim. You can say some people claim that, you know, it is not fair or it's fair for sport professionals to receive that money because like two reasons. Like here, I'm just like, I will just show you what I've written here. I guess it's the same one. Like here, for example, you can this one, like here, as far as the first point is concerned, some individuals, yes, like here I added here, like look here. So some individual, I didn't say most people, like in the second opinion, so I said most people. But in the first point of view, because I don't like this point of view, I said some individuals, you know, some individuals. So I give the idea that what it is, it's a convincing technique in which you give the impression that the majority of people agree with you and the minority like of people do not agree with you. So if I said some individual may claim that, you can use this one to start like body one. Professional should not, like professional should be, sport should be small, not capital. Like professional, like, you know, shouldn't receive a lot of money for two reasons. And only we have just two reasons. To start with, it's better to write to start with than first of all, or first. Again, you can start to start with, you can write it at the outset, you can say to start off, you can say at the beginning, like you can say to begin with, but avoid cliches. You understand that? So here, for example, I said that two opinions. The first one, the first reason that some people work hard, like farmers, teachers, doctors, they work much harder than others, you know, and they play more important rules, more fundamental rules, you know. So people can live without football players or sport professionals, but they can never live without farmers, without teachers, without doctors, without engineers. You got it? Like life stops. So for sure, this is a convincing reason that it is not fair for them to receive that money. Another reason that what, like there should be social redistribution of the money. Like it's totally unacceptable to live in a community in which some people make millions and other people like work hard to make just pounds, to make just tens. It is totally unfair. You know, there is no social justice. So I included both of them here. You got it? So I wrote here that some people like play much more important roles. You can also mention, like as some of you mentioned, that yes, like for example, doctors or engineers, they work very hard. They study for years and years. They pay a lot of money, and at the end, maybe like after they finish, it's like they don't have salaries, like high salaries. Okay, you can also mention that. You see, but again, why I mentioned this one, this idea, as I told you, to be different only. But I do agree with you. So here, however, it's better to start body one, body two with however, or by contrast, or on the other side, or in the other hand, or in contrast. You got it? You can start it whatever you want, but don't start it with but. But is weak. Okay? And here, like when you speak about your the other opinion, you can say most people agree that. Not like it's a claimed, no, most people agree that. And you can add three reasons. Now, I'd like to ask you another question. If you add three reasons, let's say that, how can you have three reasons before, when you read the answers, when you read the question, like, you know, like you're supposed to write, like ask yourself, like about the reason for each one. The side that you have more reason for, like pick it as your opinion. You know, so now I will tell you, I'm asking you another question. Let's say that you have three reasons. One is strong, and one is not that strong, and one is very strong. Which one to start with? Like, you know, strong. One that not that strong. Yes, which one to start with and which one, like, you know. So let's say that you have three reasons. One of them is strong, the other one is not that strong, like weak, kind of weak, and the third one is very strong. Like, should you start with what? Write it down. Start with what? Can we get this essay as a reference with us? Yeah, sure. No problem. Yes, no problem. So I have this one. I'm just, you know, as I told you, I wrote it only because I wanted to have a different opinion, you know, only. But yes, for sure you can write it. You can take it. So strong, if you have three reasons, start with the strong one, and then the one which is not that strong, sandwich it, you know, put it between the strong and very strong, and always have a very good ending. In your essay, always have a very good ending. Why? Yes, it's true that the first impression is so good, but remember that the last impression is much more important than the first impression. Why? Because after reading it, like it will be evaluated immediately. Like after reading the conclusion, like your mark will be like you will be graded. Your essay will be graded. So it's good to start with a very good impression, but if you end with a very weak impression, it's not good for you. So this why if you have three reasons, start with the strong one, and the weak one, which is not that strong, sandwich it, as I told you, put it in between, and then end with the very strong one. Is it clear? You know, so here, if you don't have any idea, as Mahmoud just mentioned, you can fabricate a study. It's true. But again, when you fabricate a study, memorize a name of a very good university, like Oxford or Harvard, like, you know, and but please be convincing. Like, again, avoid like this shocking numbers. Like the most, like the highest number you can use, like you can say 52. Don't write 50% because this is clear cut, is not scientific. You can say what about or around 52% of people or participants of the study agreed that, or like the researcher found that. You see, I can send you samples if you want, like you, but again, if you like to have seven, you're not supposed to memorize. You're not supposed to memorize. And then the conclusion, as I told you, should be written like this one. This order, last sentence, to hook. Yes, not to hook. Like, you know, no, Haitham, it's not to hook, because you already, hook means it's used at the beginning, but not to hook. Like to have a high mark. To have a high mark. You say, oh, wow, this sentence is so good, so you can say yes. Yes. Okay, so you have this one. So the conclusion should be written like this one. The conclusion should be written like this. Again, like you see this one, I'd like to include shapes. Like, yeah, triangle, but like I'd like to make it like this one, like here's this one, but it's supposed to be flipped over. It's supposed to be flipped over. So it's supposed to be flipped over. You see, it's supposed to be flipped over. It means what? Start the conclusion with your opinion again. You might say, I already mentioned my opinion in the introduction. Yes, I know. But also mention it again one more time in the conclusion, but do not write it the same. Rephrase it. For example, if you write I think, write I believe. If you write above important, write instrumental or vital or effective or omnipotent, or like any word that you like, but don't use the word significant. You can write significant. You can say, for example, like rephrase your word, like reword what you have just mentioned. Don't change your opinion. By some students, by the way, change their opinion the way through. Like in the introduction, they have one opinion. When they reach the conclusion, they change their opinion. This is like, it ruins their marks. You know, so I have this one in that conclusion. How can I write the conclusion the same as the introduction? Just you can write only two sentences, and then start the conclusion with your opinion only. Like rephrase the last sentence of the introduction. Okay, rephrase the last sentence of your introduction, and then write a recommendation, a piece of advice, your expectation about the topic. You can also add one more reason. Like you can say, I do agree with the second point of view, and you can add one more reason, which means you have four reasons for body two. Like, I mean, three reasons for body two, but I mean, for the second point of view, you have four reasons. You got it? You understand that? So the conclusion is also generalized, but like you end with a generalization and you start with a generalization. You start with a general idea about the topic and you end with recommendation concerning the same topic. But again, avoid to be too general. For example, let's say if I ask you to write an essay about air pollution, don't start like air pollution is defined as like the poor quality of the air. No, you should write there are different kinds of pollution, like air pollution, water pollution, and one of them, and then speak about air pollution. So start with generalization and then be specific. I'm not only speaking about argumentative topic, any kind of essay is the same. You know, if it's cause and effect, for example. So, or like, yes, if it's cause and effect, you start with a clear-cut introduction about the topic, and then a C statement summarizing the causes and effects, and then one body for the causes, one body for the effects, and then the conclusion, write your opinion. Like, for example, like, you know, which one is the most, not convincing, which one, like, you think, like, you know, what can be done about this problem, you know? Or you can summarize it all again, like summarize the whole topic again. If it's, for example, like compare and contrast, you can just speak about, for example, you can highlight the similarities in body one, the differences in body two, and the conclusion, you can write your opinion, which one is better and why. You know, like let's say that compare, let's say, studying abroad or studying in a local university. You can say which one do you prefer and why. You see? You see my point? Now, I'll stop recording and I'm going to start recording again. And now it's time to start speaking about like the common mistakes. Okay.